Okay, here is a name and a player that you're going to want to remember for future Cubs baseball. Cole Mathis joins us. Cole, first of all, really nice to meet you. Second of all, you were a very high pick of the Cubs, an early pick, right? Mm-hmm. And then right away you go from second round pick, 54 overall, and it's unfortunately straight to Tommy John surgery, right? It's like that's not the way I assume you wanted to start your professional baseball career.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not ideal to start it, right into an injury. But we thought of the best path to go ahead and get that done, and then didn't really miss much time with it being the end of the season last year. So really just getting ready for the season this year.
When how's the rehab been? Like I know you're in Arizona, but when do you feel like you'll be able to get in? I guess make your Cubs professional debut.
Yeah, I mean rehab's been really good. We have a really good athletic training staff out here, and it's been going smooth. Hitting's been feeling really good, and so. Throw-ins, just falling behind. Throw-ins a very long process with Tommy John surgery. So, but the hitting's been feeling really good, and then hopefully get back into it this spring training, and then not miss that much time, in the season.
Awesome.
So does that mean you're kind of thinking a full recovery before you get back, or are we talking about something like I know you were a two-way player in college and a pitcher, and we just watched Ohtani go through the crazy process of being able to play baseball coming off of Tommy John. Is that the other path where you could DH for a year and try and get all the hitting in until you're able to play first or third or wherever you might land in Major League Baseball?
The plan's to just get me back. I'd say the priority right now is to get me back hitting, and then DH as long as I can with that, and then hopefully sometime throughout the season have the arm strength back to be able to play a position, whether it be third or first.
Which position would you rather play right now?
Definitely third. I enjoy. You definitely see more highlights over there at third base, and so I always love making strong throws after a diamond play or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious what this has been like. I mean, obviously physically this can't be very fun, rehabbing to try and get back to being a professional baseball player. Mentally, how difficult has this been? What have the hurdles been like for you?
Yeah, I mean physically, it's about as tough as it gets as far as an injury's concerned, but mentally it's been good. My wife has been out here, so that's been really has made it more enjoyable and just a lot better mentally, emotionally, stuff like that. But I mean it's been good. We've got other guys that are going through the same exact thing, so it's created a good little group that we've kind of be able to bounce stuff off of if we need to.
Have you basically been in Arizona since all of this transpired with the injury and everything, rehabbing? Is that where you've basically been this entire time?
Yeah, I've been out here basically through the dead period, and then went home for Christmas and New Year's, and then came right back out here for early spring training camp. And so, just, spending a lot of time out here, but also spending a lot of time with our staff and just getting to know them better.
Here's another follow-up with that then. You haven't got to play any games yet, but you've obviously gotten to know people within the organization. Who are some guys that maybe you knew but when you got drafted that were within the Cubs organization, or who you've created relationships already with that you feel really comfortable around?
Yeah, I'd say as far as big leaguers are concerned, I grew up in Georgia, and so Dansby Swanson was definitely a big name that I knew with the Cubs. It's cool just seeing him around the complex right now during spring training, and then I'd say as far as like rehab goes, right now, I've been doing some smaller stuff with Jefferson Rojas, who's one of our prospects, and then I'd say overall, just being around like guys like Owen Casey and Matt Shaw, who are still in the minor leagues, but they've got seasons under their belt, and just learning from guys that just seeing levels, really just like you've got your big league guys, and then the top prospect guys are just really cool, just to see the different levels, but then also what they've learned in their short amount of minor league time.
Saw the picture, I think it was on Instagram, you posted in front of Wrigley Field. You just had your surgery, Dr. Grislow, and kind of thanked him. Had you been to Wrigley Field before? Like, what's your Wrigley/Chicago experience like at this point in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't been out of the Southeast much. So no, I've never been to Chicago before that. But yeah, I mean, I just, it's one of those fields you see. I mean, you can be in any town and you see a picture of Wrigley Field. It's like just one of those iconic baseball fields that you see. So it was just really cool to see that in person. And then eventually I was able to take a tour there towards the end of the season. So that was really cool. Just seeing the field, seeing the ivy in person, that was really cool.
Who was your favorite player growing up? You say you're from Georgia, but I'm assuming maybe it's a Braves player. But any particular Cub that maybe you remember watched growing up that you really kind of latched onto?
Yeah, I mean, my all-time favorite player is Chipper Jones. Especially he was third base with the Braves at the end of his career when I was growing up. But I'd say as far as Cubs go, I just remember, big, really liked like Kyle Schwarber, Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, like that whole group was kind of like right when, they won the World Series, like right when I was getting into high school. And so that was kind of like, once I got more serious about baseball, they were like the core group. So that was really cool. And then they became some of my favorites to watch as far as Cubs go.
Those would be good names to mention. That would be a good answer to all the Chicago media someday. Hey, your dad was also a baseball player in the Cleveland organization. Is that right? And how has he helped you, or what has he meant to your process here, whether it's, the injury recovery or just even pitching, for college or high school, wherever it might be? How has your dad been involved in this?
Oh yeah, I mean he's done everything. He's kind of just had like a pitching machine arm. Just unlimited throws, however many I need. And so yeah, it's been really nice. Especially he played pro ball, so he knows all the ins and outs of that. And yeah, I mean when I was pitching, he was a big coach with that, and mentor with that, but. Also, he taught me how to think like a pitcher. And so while I'm able to hit, I know a little bit of like how the pitcher's trying to get me out, stuff like that. And so, yeah, even now, like he's been able to share his experiences in pro ball, kind of get me ready, for my first full season.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was curious about the whole process of being a two-way player. And I guess people didn't even think about it. I mean, obviously, when you're young, lots of kids pitch and play a position. But in college, that's way more rare. And in Major League Baseball, it's like Ohtani, Were you disappointed that the Cubs right away were like hitter? Because obviously, they're clearly very excited about the way you can hit a baseball. Would you have liked to pursue that at one point? Or did you realize that, likely I'm going to have to make a decision here, or a team's going to make it for me?
I mean, yeah, I'd say, being a two-way in college, you always hope to be able to do both at the next level. But I think realistically, I knew that, one had to come to an end if I wanted to actually, pursue a big league career. And so, yeah, I think while I had to, be okay with giving it up. It's something that I'm excited to finally focus on one, and put all my effort into hitting and just see where that leads me.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal for this year? Like, is it, games at South Bend or an amount of games, or like if you put that ahead of you and said, this is the carrot, this is where I'm trying to get to this year, what would be that end spot?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have I wouldn't say I have like a goal set yet. I'd say probably first half of the season. I'll have to like split it up that way. Kind of with it, I have to really just see how it goes, and then just making adjustments off that, and then basically I'd probably have to set goals for the second half based on what I learned from the first half.
That sounds really hard to do, because like if I'm you right now, like I'm just ready to get back on the field and like take some hacks, dude. Like I'm someone, I didn't play at your level, even in college or anything like that. But anytime I felt like I would get hurt, and when I was in high school playing any sport, I was always finding myself rushing to get back, and like you have these aspirations to want to, come back and be who you were and stuff. And like these college numbers are no joke. And so like, I feel like for what you just said, it feels like you're trying to remember in some form that, you got to, there's a process to this. So maybe that's a sign of maturity that maybe I never had or still don't have.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where I played basically all of the college season hurt last year, and so now I know what it feels like to have to, or at least be expected to perform your best and not feel your best. So at least for now, I'm kind of at the point where I want to at least slowly go into getting to my best before I step back on there.
Yeah.
When do you first remember the injury? When do you remember feeling it? Like, was there a point where you were like, that's not right and this isn't good?
Yeah, it was actually before the season, back in before the college season. I threw a pitch and I felt something not right, felt a pop. And so, yeah, that's kind of what it was. And then we just had to, plans change and you just got to, adjust to it. And so that's what we decided to do. Yeah.
Well, man, we are excited to watch your progress over the years or year or whatever it might be. And we're excited for your future. Cubs fans may not know a whole lot about you yet, other than when you were drafted, they were like, ooh, that's high. And they're really excited. You see all the quotes about, we love this guy as a hitter. So we're excited. We're hoping everything goes well for you. And we want to wish you luck as this season gets started.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I got one more question.
Here we go.
This is related. Like we mentioned Wrigley Field and stuff. Yeah. So you came to Chicago. Like, where did you go to eat? I feel like this is a great way to end it. Like, what's the food that you had when you were here?
We made sure to, what is it called? Giordano's? Is that?
Yeah. You did the deep dish.
Did the deep dish
with we had to get the deep dish, pizza. And then we went to the Harry Carey's restaurant.
Okay. Nice.
All right.
Oh, man.
Well,
you're going to like the food here.
I can certainly send you a list one day of some of the best spots you can get once you get to the majors, man. Because like I said, these numbers in college are no joke. So I'm rooting for you to grow through the Cubs system and continue to, help this new wave of young players coming through the Cubs farm.
All right. Thank you.